Hey everybody, this is another edition of My Greatest Hits. I'm Giovanni Blanco, and my special guest today is Michelle McGregor. Michelle,
hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Before we begin on your top 10 songs, the mixtape playlist that you made for me of songs that are important to you and mean a lot to you, why don't you tell me a little bit about what's going on with you right now?
Well, I'm very happy to say, and I don't think people get to say this very often, that I am currently producing and bringing to life my genuine passion project, which is Tom Waits' War Songs. I've been dreaming about this show for 15 years, I think.
Wow.
And finally making it happen, and it's actually opening in like 2 weeks, I think. It is just we've taken all the songs that Tom Waits and his wife and writing partner Kathleen Brennan have ever written about war, and building a sort of narrative concert with animation. We've commissioned an animator, which is why I'm very impressed by myself being able to raise enough funds to do that. So we're projecting animations behind the band the whole time, and I think it's gonna be amazing.
Having had a little peek inside or behind the curtain, I can only say that it's like if Tom Waits sang for Pink Floyd. So it's like
I say it's like The Wall on an indie budget, but with Tom Waits songs.
Like The Wall if it was inside of a barn.
Yeah.
A lot of old machines and stuff. Yeah. Let's get going. All right. So, these lists that I ask people to do, these playlists, don't necessarily be in any particular order, but I think of it as like a cassette and a side A and side B, 5 songs each side, and the first song is
Everything Louder Than Everything Else.
Everything
Meatloaf,
Loud.
Bat Out of Hell Part 2. And because mine I did put chronologically.
Okay, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. However we want to take
Chronologically, I felt like there are definite songs that sort of tell the story of my life as it attaches to music. And Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell Part 2 was the first. So my twin sister and I would come home from school every day and go through my mom's CDs. And, we don't know what any of these are. We got really into Annie Lennox, Walking on Broken Glass.
Yeah, Why?
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
But, we're 12 years old or 11, and we find Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell Part 2, right? We don't know what Part 1 is. And we just put it in. And you start off with, I Would Do Anything for Love, the 12 and a half, 15-minute version. And, but when it got to Everything Louder Than Everything Else, we would get on the coffee table, break out the spaghetti spoons, and just rock out, and I don't know what he's singing about. I just remember him. I remember him going, who am I and why am I here?
Yeah.
Forget the questions. Someone give me another beer, right? And we're 12 years old, and we
11,
can
12,
feel the attitude. We're like, forget the questions. Someone give me another beer. We're like, yeah, ugh. It was just everything. And so, yeah, I don't think I would even have a childhood without that album.
Yeah, Meatloaf, it's amazing that he kind of was able to repeat the sort of same energy and same sort of a theatrical vibe from the same stuff that he did early on from Bat Out of Hell.
Well, Jim Steinman.
Jim Steinman is the master of that. Is
yes.
the master. It's but I feel like it's his voice that makes it sound so it's like an opera of hormones, almost teenage hormones too. It's very there's a line in that song that always hits me. That's I'm not gonna say it right, but it's they say the thrill is gone. We gotta take it back.
The thrill is gone, but it's time to
take it back. I love that, and it's so funny, and it's so common in a lot of the songs on the album that when they get caught on one thing that they really say, they were like, how can we make this more
12 minutes?
Meaningful?
How can we make this?
How can we make this more impactful? Let's just repeat it 7 times.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you know this. Do you remember the monologue in that album? I remember everything. That's Jim Steinman.
Oh my God.
I believe. The internet will tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is Jim Steinman doing that monologue.
I also heard that he gave Meatloaf half the songs, and he said basically, I'll give you the second half if you change your managers, because your managers are thieves.
Oh, that's sexy.
It was crazy.
Didn't he pass away like last year?
Jim Steinman last year, yeah. Look up, if you can find his solo album. It's just as good. It's just as good. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. I can totally see you and your sister just kind of.
Oh my god.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
So number two,
I believe, was Billy Idol's "Cradle of Love," and actually, I probably should come before Meatloaf because how I found it was in my mom's minivan. She had under the seats. Cars don't do this anymore. You can pull out a drawer, and they were for cassette tapes. Do you remember those? Yes, like
you could fit them in a little.
Yes. Yeah. And so here she's. What do you want to listen to? Oh, and I open up the drawer, and there's Billy Idol on what album's Cradle of Love? Probably Rebel Yell because it's the red.
It's not Rebel Yell. It actually came out later. It's
that's right.
Yeah.
But
it's
she
like
had
the gold album.
She had Rebel Yell though,
yeah.
and I put that in. I was like, oh my god, I love this. But it was Cradle of Love. I became obsessed with Billy Idol. He's still the password to all of my anything internet is just like I love Billy Idol is my password to everything.
What she means to say is I love Billy Joel.
Yes,
I love Billy Joel, not Billy Idol.
But it was Cradle of Love that like
his Elvis tune.
I feel I became a woman to that song. I feel that like at like 10 years old when I saw that music video, I was like, that's what sex is. I was like, that's what sexy is. Was
the music video like it was like a babysitter in a house?
Yes.
And she was like watching TV and
it doesn't specify babysitter, but she was young, which now watching it, I'm like, is she too young for this video? But me at 10 years old, she was,
which is why Billy Idol is actually behind a TV screen and not in the room with her.
Do you know why he's on the TV screen? So I think David Fincher directed that music video. Yeah. And I believe Billy Idol had been in like an accident.
Oh, he had broken his leg.
Yes, his leg. Like, David Fincher made a way for this bitchin' video, but then Billy Idol's just like, in a picture frame singing. But she's just a neighbor, I believe, and she's kind of like, hey, can I play some music? And then she's like, let me just undress and dance around. And I was just like, oh my, literally, I'm sure every child has a moment where it's like, oh, loins, like fire. That was it for me. And I will love Billy Idol forever. Yes.
Flesh for fantasy, indeed.
Yes, flesh for fantasy. So like, for a 10-year-old, like that's a dirty.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was my second one. I believe my third one had to have been.
Yes.
If you're ready for it.
Yes, Howard Shore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Howard Shore's The Breaking of the Fellowship. If you ask me like what is my top 5 favorite songs, because this isn't my favorite songs, these are like my 10 like I don't know my life, these are the songs, right? But if I had to like gun to head 5 favorite songs, The Breaking of the Fellowship would be on that, and it's so beautiful. I was definitely very into the Lord of the Rings movies. I don't read. I maybe tried to read those books, didn't happen. The movies I loved. And The Breaking of the Fellowship is just so beautiful. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just, Frodo's going to Mordor and he's going alone. And then Sam's like, yeah, you're going alone and I'm going with you. And then and then anytime you hear a little that's the Shire. And it's an amazing song. Well, and if you listen to like the actual song, like the full song, you get that little boy singing, and it was probably the same,
like angelic.
Yeah, like what are they called? Castratis?
Oh, castratos.
Castratos. I mean, I hope not. Yes, but it sounds like that. I mean, that they put words to the melody of Breaking of the Fellowship, and then and then all the fellowship like rallies to go save the world, save Middle Earth.
It's funny because it's when you think of those kind of movies, you can almost think of different kinds of composers being involved because they're so there's so much tension, there's darkness, they're going into new worlds, it's adventure, and that music is so beautiful, and it's like a lot of it is. It's like so. And when you watch the movies, it goes through all the motions, but Howard Shore is very sensitive to the happenings.
Well, I feel like with Howard Shore, I mean, I could be wrong, but it's not like if you hear like Philip Glass, it's like, oh, that's Philip Glass. It's so
specific. I mean, it's the same thing like Hans Zimmer.
Yeah,
it's like this fucking.
But Howard Shore, I feel like he could do a soundtrack, and you have to see his name on the screen to know for sure, because I feel like he adapts himself to.
If this same guy did Mrs. Doubtfire and did Seven.
And didn't he do the first couple Tim Burton movies? I mean, he was.
I think it was always what's his face? Until After.
No, Danny Elfman. Mm. No, I think Howard Shore did. What's the one about the director, Barry?
Oh yeah. He did Ed Wood.
Ed Wood. I think he did Ed Wood. Yeah. Barry. I'm like thinking of Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon.
We get our names mixed up.
Yes. Anyway, that's amazing. The Breaking the Fellowship is, I think, just one of the most beautiful songs.
How old were you do you remember?
Well, I was in high school, and I failed my my junior year when the Return of the King came out, and I failed miserably my analysis 3 or whatever that class was test the next day because I insisted on going to the midnight screening of the Return of the King. So I didn't get home till 4 in the morning.
It's like 7 hours
Test
long.
was at 7:30 in the morning, and I just remember I'm probably still crying over the oh god, because Annie Lennox sings at the end of Return of the King. Oh my god, yes, Into the West. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, didn't pass the test, but did have my life changed by the Lord of the Rings.
A different kind of analysis.
I made Nick watch Lord of the Rings, the whole thing, because Nick, not to get too off topic, but Nick's never seen any movies. I mean, he doesn't. Yes. He's he literally only listened to music growing up. So you could be like, oh, remember in Jurassic Park? And he's like, no, I never saw it. It's like, how can a human being not have seen Jurassic Park? So when I was recovering from my big surgery, I was like, we're watching Lord of the Rings. I don't know if it. I don't think it got to.
You didn't quite understand that it was 3 movies. Yeah, 3-hour.
Well, I didn't make him go back and then watch the commentary, but I bet if I told him, he would have done it.
Folks, what is love?
Yes. Okay, but what's the next one? Do you remember?
Number 4. So 4 is Vera.
Oh, 4 is Vera! Vera! Oh my god. Well, I mean, yeah. When I first saw The Wall, I did first see the movie before I knew the album, because I was born in 1987. So whoever introduced it to me through the DVD. And I watched that DVD 10 times in a row. I had wicked insomnia from the age of 10. So, I mean, all through high school, all through college, never sleeping. And so, watching movies or having music. I watched The Wall over and over and over and over again. And then multiple times when I would drive from either North Carolina or Tennessee all the way to Santa Fe, New Mexico, where I just finally started studying acting for college. I listened to The Wall, I think 14 times in a row was my record. And it was also, I wouldn't say it's not quite, it's close. If I weren't so passionate about staging Tom Waits war songs, I would be staging The Wall. I think a staged production of The Wall would be incredible. But Vera, I don't know. That's the one I had to pick just because, whatever. I don't know. Living in Brooklyn. I lived in Williamsburg, Brooklyn in 2006.
Okay.
I lived on Bedford and North 8th.
Nice.
Which now I can't even imagine how much that would cost. But when I was there, I don't know, $1,200 at most, and you'd say yeah, it's just one stop off the L train. And people are like, the L train, it's at Brooklyn, But
it's it's literally once you get
it's
over,
right there, yeah. Which
right
was
there.
in 2006 or 7. You had to explain. Now it's.
It was
like
Warriors
thing.
Land, though. It was just deserted.
Well,
it
was Hasidic Jews.
Crazy.
It was all. I mean, that was the neighborhood, and then hipsters took over. But I worked at a video store, and I would.
So does it get any more hipster than that? She's like, I was
oh no, it does. It does. You want to know because why I got hired was because I'd shaved my head the night before.
Okay. Insert picture here.
I actually don't even know if there's any pictures. It was 2008. We didn't have.
I will make a picture. I will draw one.
So I think that's probably why I got hired, but like we got to pick movies to put on.
Okay,
and,
yeah. When you're
music,
working,
right.
you just play. Yeah.
And I always put on the wall, and my employees got so annoyed all the time. They're like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Yes."
The wall, right? Why Vera?
Well, I don't know why I chose Vera specifically. It might be because I was thinking chronologically, and I was thinking about the video store, and you'd ask people for their ID, and if they didn't have the ID, you could be like, "That's okay. What's your name?" And every week, this girl would come in, and I'd be like, "Do you have your card?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "That's okay. What's your name?" And she'd go, "Vera," and I'd go, "Vera, Vera," to like. Zero response.
Yeah.
She didn't ever join in.
You're like,
nobody
Stella,
else.
Stella.
But I would force them to listen through the whole thing. Because I'd go, "Do you have your card?" She'd go, "No." And I go, "That's okay. What's your name?" And she'd go, "Vera." And I'd go, "Vera, Vera." And then I wouldn't stop. And I'd keep the silence. And then I'd go, "What has become of you?" And then I'm like, okay. I never remembered what she looked like. So every time she came in, I had to ask. But I don't know why Vera other than that. But it's just a great song.
It is a great song.
It's beautiful.
Song. And it's a good break in the whole alignment of the album.
Well, and of course, and this was like pre everything being answered on the internet. I'm like, who is Vera? Who is she? And I felt like for years I couldn't figure it out. But then I think somebody was like, oh, no, yeah, she was like a performer who sang for the veterans or for soldiers. Vera Lynn, yeah. Vera Lynn. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought there was like no answer, but there was an answer.
I'm trying to think, the only Vera I remember was from, I think, Alice, that TV show. Was there a Vera on that? Like there was Flo. Alice, and there was a Vera.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why she didn't get into it. Her parents clearly had a bitchin' idea for how everyone should respond to her when they meet her, and she was just like,
not digging it. Yeah. I think we're at number 5. Mm-hmm. It's Tom Waits.
Oh, 16 shells from a 30-06. Yes, where it all began. I mean. Okay, so obviously, I mean,
So wait, so you made this chronologically?
Yes.
With your life.
So now we're out of Brooklyn. I finally realized. So when I moved to New York and went to college, but I studied film. I didn't think I was good enough to study acting. I didn't think that I was talented enough, and so I kind of had already given up on that idea. And so I was like, well, I'll study film because my best friend at the time was doing it. And I was like, okay, that's what I'll do. And then very quickly,
where did you go?
School of Visual Arts, but only for like a semester because then all I kept trying to do was get in everybody's movies. I was like, do you need an actress? Do you need an actress? And on top of that, I hated directing film. I just hated it. I love directing theater, hate directing film. So dropped out of college. And then realized, like, okay, I want to be an actor. Long story short.
No.
Tom Waits.
Short story long. That's what we're here for.
Tom Waits has become my favorite artist, like, as an understatement. Like Tom Waits is my inspiration artistically, period. Like, everything is through the lens of, like, anything is possible because Tom Waits was possible. I don't know. But the reason it all happened was because I'd gotten into the Yale School of Drama. That was like, I was like, amazing. Oh my God, I got in. And they sent us a list of plays that we were required. Well, I thought required. I think I was the only one that read them. We were supposed to read over the summer to like get there. And like, I mean, that experience, like reading Cat on a Hot Tin Roof for the first time. Like, anyway, but so I had to go find these plays. And I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico at the time, because that's where I went to college for acting. So after I dropped out of film school, decided I wanted to study acting, I went to the School of College of Santa Fe in New Mexico. So then got into Yale and went to go buy these plays. And I walk into this bookstore, and like I walk in, and just like right there at the bottom shelf, there's a big ass like piano book that says Tom Waits' Beautiful Melodies. And I was like, oh, Tom Waits, like that's that guy that my friend Nick really likes. Not this Nick, another friend I had named Nick. And so, you know, I don't know, I just went and I like picked it up and I opened it and I was like, that doesn't look that hard. Cause I like play a little bit of piano and read sheet music, but I don't do it a lot. So it can't be too complicated or I can't do it. But I opened it up and I was like, that looks like my favorite level of difficulty to play. Like it's not wimpy easy. It's not like Hot Cross Buns, but it's not like Chopin. It's like in between. I'd say Tom Waits' Beautiful Melodies is right in between Hot Cross Buns and Chopin. And so I bought this piano book and was like, all right, cracked it open, and it goes chronologically, alphabetically. 16 Shells from a 30-06 is the first track. And I'm like, in the fuck is this? And I'm like, what is a 30-06? Like, what is it? And then so I'm like flipping through, and I think I'm flipping. I think soon was The Briar and the Rose. And oh my God. I mean, if you don't know Tom Waits, but you know how to read music, and you start playing The Briar and the Rose, and you start reading those lyrics, I mean, I don't see how anybody couldn't just be like, I'm in love. Like, what is this? Yeah. So then, of course, I went home, I downloaded all the music and started with 16 Shells from a 30-06. I literally remember that. I mean, I was 20, maybe 22 years old. I still remember this like it was yesterday. Drawing a bath, you know, putting my computer on the toilet seat or something and pressing play, and 16 Shells from a 30-06 starts, and it's... I'm like, what is this? Amazing. And it was, the rest is history. I mean, the amount of Tom Waits I listened to, I guess to the point where I can't believe nobody else has done this, but I realized, like, this guy's written a lot of songs about war. Like, why doesn't somebody do all the songs this artist has written about war into a show? That idea came like 20 years ago.
My father, I started getting obsessed with Tom Waits around the same time, late 80s. Who does it? And my father caught me one day listening, and he said, his music sounds like a car with 3 wheels.
I know. Wait. This is what I don't understand. I mean, look, I understand people being by his voice. I get that. But at the same time, you have to respect the fact that I don't think he's ever not been on pitch. Tom Waits has perfect fucking pitch. Maybe you don't like the tone or the quality of that voice, but that man is fucking talented as fuck. Like, he can sing. The low that he gets to, and even the highs. I remember once he was on an interview when Bad As Me came out. He did an interview on NPR with Terry Gross. She seemed, to be honest, really uncomfortable and very ill prepared for this interview. To the point where she says, like, she literally is like, oh, I there was one track I liked. Like, she's kind of like, okay, then you do this song that actually is kind of good, or like something ridiculous like that. And she chose Kiss Me, and she's like, well, let's play that. But then something happened, and then they're talking, and she says, well, have you ever thought of taking voice lessons? And they didn't even end up playing Kiss Me because of how rambly and awkward she got and everything. But to think that I just don't, that idea that he doesn't have a good voice or something is like, you're smoking crack. Tell me give me any example of a time that Tom Waits has ever been off pitch.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, people will argue that. People will argue that. I mean, it's like, I just feel that it's It's one of those things. It's like hearing music from a car that's going by. You can, if you're not in the car, it just sounds like it's going up and down in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It doesn't make sense to you. You know what I mean? Like you have to be in the car. You better get in that car, because to me, it's like Tom Waits is one of the best, regardless. And you can. There are two phases, right? You got the crooner, and then there's the barker. You know, and it's like the carnival guy. And to me, I know. I got into him from the second era.
Yeah.
You know.
Post Kathleen Brennan.
Yes.
Swordfish Trombones
so
and all.
Swordfish Trombones, Frank's
Me
Wild
too.
Years.
Me
and
too.
All that stuff to me, because especially the 80s stuff, he was still kind of blending out of the old.
Well.
And it's just still like, you know what I mean? So it still had this sort of romantic,
yes.
very, very, bar room love.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally.
But still very kind of like on the edge and borderline extreme, violent emotionally.
Yeah. Well, so I didn't realize this until for Tom Waits War Songs, where I've made like a program that includes all the lyrics to the songs that we're doing, and I'm crediting like from the album blah 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 this year. And when I got to Swordfish Trombones, I assumed that I would say written by Tom Waits and Kathleen Brennan, because that's when they started collaborating. But she isn't credited as a writer on Swordfish Trombones. Everything after that, she is. Yeah. And he's made it clear that that's when their collaboration began. But, like, I mean, her influence and where he went with his music because of her is, like, that to me, that's my favorite stuff. When people ask me, what's your favorite Tom Waits album? I always say just Bad As Me, because to me, they just get better and better and better and better.
It's ridiculous. I mean, mine is Bone Machine. But...
It's so good. I almost put in the Coliseum in Tom Waits War Songs, but it didn't quite fit. Yeah, it's like it's war-ish, but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and
oh my God! Wait, doesn't Bone Machine have a little drop of rain on it? Yeah. I mean, this album that is like so crazy, and then and so like heartbreaking.
Yeah, like, it's like, what's he doing in there?
Oh, what's he building in there? What the hell is he building in there? The people have a right to know. I hear he has a subscription to some magazine. And I swear to God,
and like, to me, and that feel, I love that feel. That's
moaning
like
low. Sorry.
No.
Oh, that feel. Oh my God. That feel. Keith Richards.
It kills me.
Yes.
Like,
Keith Richards and Tom Waits collaboration is one of my favorites too. That feel is one of my favorites. I love that song.
You do that feel. Something on your shoes.
I almost put 16 shells from a 30-06 into Tom Waits War Songs as well, because a 30-06 was a weapon they used in World War I.
Yeah.
But the song's not about war, so I didn't. But that would have been fun.
We can talk about Tom all night long.
We could, but let's move on. Next has got to be Faith.
It's got to be Faith.
It's got to be George Michael's
Double
Faith.
check with us, man.
And the only reason I put this, I do love the song, and I think George Michael. 6, right? I think George Michael.
So we're turning this out.
Yeah. And, this would be a good B-side. Yeah.
Start fresh. Start nice and lively.
Faith, George Michael, incredible artist. Not one of my favorites, but like incredible.
Yeah.
But I really don't think that I would have gotten into the Yale School of Drama if it weren't for this song.
What?
Explain. So at these like grad school auditions for these, so you go to a city. You either go to New York, LA, and I went to San Francisco. And I think maybe they do one in Chicago. So you go and you sign up for as many schools as you want to audition for. And they're like cattle calls. So all the schools, Yale, NYU, Juilliard. No, I think Juilliard, maybe they just stay in New York. But like all the big schools. So they've all got these rooms that they've rented. You sign up like months and months in advance with your cover letter and your whatever. And you go audition. You have to prepare 4 monologues and 1 song, a cappella, 32 bars of whatever. You basically do 2 contemporary monologues and 2 classic monologues like Shakespeare, and then whatever song. So you are going to all these auditions, and they may ask you for 1 or 2 or 4 of them. Like, you don't know. You just got to be ready. And I don't remember if Yale was the first one I auditioned for or not, but I just the nerves in the hallway. I mean, there's just hundreds of actors.
Like sweat.
Yes, the anxiety and everything, and everybody's pretty young. I mean, I was 23, maybe 22, somewhere between 22 and 24. And like, you know, everybody's just, you know, it's such a big deal, right? And I didn't understand what I was getting into, honestly. I was talked into auditioning by an incredible teacher. And when he said I should audition for Yale, I was like, Yale's got a drama school? Like, what? You know? And then, like, Wikipedia'd it, and I was like, oh, Meryl Streep went there? Oh, my God. And then I was like, oh, they only take, like, 16 people out of, like, thousands? Like, I'm not going to get in. But, you know, I loved acting, you know? And so, sure, I wanted it in the sense that's, like, maybe this is, like, right for me. Like, maybe this is my path or whatever. But, like, man, people freaking out in those hallways. And so I just, like, and played George Michael's Faith over and over again. And it made me so happy. I was literally so happy that I was just relaxed and just had fun. And, you know, and I'm pretty sure that's probably why I got a call back. You know, they call you back at the end of the day. So if they want to see you again, you wait around to the end of that hour. That's what it is. Okay. You audition with, like, there's like 30 people per hour slot or something like that. And you do your thing. And then if they want to see you again, they let you know if you should stay or go for the end of that hour. So if you get into the end of that hour, both the Yale teachers come together, Ron Van Loo and Walton Wilson come in, and then you come and do it again at the end of the hour. And then you find out if you get a call back for the end of the day. And so, you know, I just kept making, and then they call you when you go back home, and then they call you and they invite you out to New Haven to audition for the final thing where you now have like a 50% chance. And I was just like, you gotta have faith.
Walking into the room, shaking your ass.
And I was so mad because they never asked me to do my contemporary comedic monologue. And at the time, I'd been doing stand-up. I wasn't doing any acting at all. I was only doing stand-up. So I was like, girl, let me make you laugh. And they kept making me do the fucking, like, Henry V, my, like, Lady Percy, like, dramatic Shakespeare monologue over and over. They loved that monologue. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's not true. I did prepare. Loved it. Okay. But yeah, so Faith, George Michael's Faith got me into Yale. And then life goes on.
Then wham, you're in jail.
Yeah. So yes. So at Yale, not good times. Lots of mental health issues, lots of physical health issues, lots of misogynistic issues, lots of bullshit issues, old school shit. Yeah. Lots of what the fuck is this place? But there I did make some really good friends, and I fell in love with, like, Motown music. Like, a friend introduced me to a guy named Paul Dufresne. And Paul made these playlists. They're called Platter Playlists. Do you know Platter Playlists? Yep. Yes, they're so good. So I just fell head over heels with this music. I would say, like, at least 50% of the music I love is probably influenced by his mixtapes.
Nice.
He makes the best mixtapes. I mean, he really
put them up online.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but one of the first ones that I fell in love with was, I believe it's on his playlist called I've Cried My Last Tear. And I believe that playlist ends with A Whiter Shade of Pale, but the Hesitations doing it. And to me, like, as somebody who has now loved singing, I didn't think I could sing. I was told I couldn't sing growing up. And so, but then I kind of was like, secretly, like, I kind of love singing though. Once I figured out, because my friends and I would do karaoke at Yale. Every Sunday we would go to the only gay bar in town, and sing karaoke every Sunday. And I started singing like Mr. Postman and a little bit of Patti Smith. And I was like, okay, I actually kind of can sing though, but it has to be like the right songs. And so to hear like these artists do these known songs in a
like
way that like just takes your heart and it's just like oh, like damn, like I thought I knew what Whiter Shade of Pale was, but I didn't until I heard this version of it, you know?
Yeah, to me it's funny because I remember hearing that version of the song for the first time, and it was after knowing the original so well. Yeah. And it was the first time that I like realized, and I don't know if this is even true, but when the Hesitations version, it totally felt like
they wrote it.
One thing, they own it, yeah. But it just felt like the lyrics and what was happening in the song happened, like he was just having like a bad day. Like where the other song just like I felt the emotion. The other song, it's really weird. The other song, the organ dominates for me.
The Procol Harum version of Whiter Shade of Pale, though it's the original, is my least favorite version of Whiter Shade of Pale.
There are several, right? But it's like that's like that whole, to me, it's like it's all about that intro, right? For me.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that Hesitation is like that's out the window, and it's about this guy. It's just like and it sounds like
it's
my
all
God,
about the vocals.
Like a horrible day.
It's all about the vocals and the Hesitations on.
Yeah, no, and it's like and it's like in your face,
Yeah, so you got to do that version of it. I don't know what key they put it in, but you would crush that version of it. Yeah, but it just like that. I think to me was about the time period, and that was a big influence on like, whoa, like you can take art you love and make it your own.
Absolutely.
Which is, I think, kind of all I do now. I don't need to write music. There's plenty of music out there that I love.
But
just let me do it.
Especially for you, you're an actor. You know what I mean? It's like you have to own it.
Feel it.
You have to become it.
Yeah. Totally.
And then it's your voice. It's your personality.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Number 8.
Is it Nina Simone yet? It's gotta be.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Paul Dufresne and the Platter playlist probably also built my love of Nina Simone, and what he chose to put on one mix was her song Baltimore, which is an incredible song, but it gets 10 times more incredible if you listen to her live version of it from 1970
early
something
70s,
early 70s on Vine Street somewhere. She goes, all right, we have time for one more, and all these people are la, and then she goes, I heard Baltimore, we'll do Baltimore, and she starts going she changes her own song, and that's what I love about Tom Waits. I mean, he does his own songs in a completely different way.
Different live.
She does that with Baltimore in this thing, and I'm telling you, like, for me, like, I don't know what everybody's experience is being a child growing up and learning about slavery and our history in America of that, but when I learned about slavery, I like wanted to vomit, and I still carry like a nausea around the treatment of Black Americans. Like I still and like the like when people don't see that, I just like don't understand. And I feel like Nina Simone like helped me to understand on a visceral level part of a fraction of what it might feel like to be Black in America. Like somehow her voice and her songs and the way she does them tells that. It like hits me as I think a white person who's like, no, of course I don't know what that's like. But because of her, like, even though I can read everything and be like, oh my God, this is disgusting, awful. But when I hear her sing it, I feel it. And I just...
Have you ever seen her documentary? But on that, I mean, it's
incredible.
I think that she's... there's so much more, too, that like there's the whole being a woman and growing up being told that you're ugly, you know what I mean, that you're not good,
right?
And it's her whole entire life that she's been fighting this sort of thing inside of her. And when you see interviews with her, it's like it's kind of like you don't really get a sense of who she is necessarily, because she can be confrontational or she can be kind of just very quiet and not say much. But it's through her performances where you see that she's actually like fighting back. And with that song and the song that you picked,
Baltimore.
Yeah.
I was debating between Baltimore and her version of I Got Life. From Hair.
Yeah, I mean, when she does, that's another thing. It's like she does that song, and it's completely different.
Completely different meaning.
Completely different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Ugh. Yes. All right, what's next? I can't feel anymore.
So, number 9 would be Nick Cave.
Oh! Yeah, okay. Now we've gotten into the chapter of my life that is Nick Liberatore. So, yes, Nick Cave, I Need You from the album Skeleton Tree. That album dropped like at the same time that not only did my grandmother die, who was one of my favorite people in the entire world, but my ex-husband and I were separating. And Nick and I were falling in love. And there was this like trifecta of experiences where I was grieving so much over my grandmother, and then Nick Cave was grieving over the loss of his son, and then I was also grieving what I thought was the end of my relationship with Nick, because you know we couldn't remain friends with me being married. Like it just was too hard for him and us and everything. And so there was this like grieving of the loss of my relationship with Nick and the loss of my grandmother. And I would like listen to that album like over and over and over again. And every time he started singing I Need You, I'm just like, oh my God, like I do need Nick. And I remember like literally like coming home from my grandmother's funeral with my husband at the time, Jacob, whom I still love. And like we got back from the funeral and we're like eating ramen. And I was like, I need to see Nick. Like, I don't know how you feel about that, but like, I just need to see him. Like, I can't process this grief without seeing him. And Jacob was like, of course, like I understand. It was, you know, we don't have to go to like all the details, but like there was an understanding of a lot of things there. And like, you know, that song I felt like encapsulated the feeling of like needing somebody. And I honestly, I don't even know if he's singing about his son or if he's singing about his wife, but like for me, anytime I hear that song, it just reminds me of like how awful my life would be if I couldn't be with Nick. So that's why I chose that song.
I think there's a interesting parallel there, because I feel like the album and that song in particular is very different than the Nick Cave of before, right? And the craziness is that when his son died, he had already written all the songs and the basic tracks were recorded. So it was just like he ended up changing a lot of the lyrics in the song to kind of match with it, because he just like, I gotta sing this song differently, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think of that song in particular too is just that it's just the parallel that I'm trying to draw is that like I feel like you were married with this person, and that kind of represented the old Nick Cave, and then this new version of Nick Cave, which is like that hit you deeper in a different way, and was calling you, and it's just like it was. I don't know. I find that when that album came out, it was. I'm gonna say it was the beginning of a messed up time for me. It was like a warning, and things have kind of changed.
Well, Nick and Jacob and I went to a Nick Cave concert at the Greek together. It was when Jacob and I had separated. I don't know if we'd signed the divorce papers yet, but like I don't know if we'd already
for this album, I imagine. Or was it after?
Yeah, it had to have been, or you know, it wasn't. It couldn't have been too long afterwards. Like. Yeah, I mean, there we are, like, at the Greek Theater watching Nick Cave, and he starts doing Into My Arms, and, like, that was Jacob and I's song. We love that song. So Nick Cave is playing that, and it's like, oh my god, hi, you know. And then stuff from Skeleton Tree comes up, and it's like, bye, like hi, bye. Yeah,
I don't know why this comes to mind, but like, you know how when Facebook started putting like the relationship status, it's complicated. There it is.
Yes. I guess, but I feel like for a relationship that from the outside could seem very complicated, I feel the three of us made it very uncomplicated.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you see the roads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you see what's coming and going, and I think it's natural.
I like, and we don't have to put this on the podcast or not, but like, I think Nick being in love with me was the reason Jacob could leave, because I think ultimately that was what he always needed, was to not be with me, and I don't think he would have felt okay leaving me without knowing that somebody actually cared about me that much.
Well, it looks like you attract good people all around.
I do. I do. Okay, what's next? We're done, right?
Number 10.
Judee Sill, The Donor was, I believe, what I picked. It was between The Donor and The Kiss. Everybody loves The Kiss. Have you listened to...
Well, I listened to the album, I'm going to say, a few years back, because for my birthday, somebody gave me the vinyl of this record. And I remember listening to it and quite a bit back then, and I was just like, which song was The Donor? Which song was The Donor? I was just listening to it.
Did you listen to it again?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I was listening to it, I'm going like, okay, oh yeah, I remember this. Uh-huh. And it got to a part towards the end, and I was just like, oh. And like it hit me like you know, I was standing over there and I almost like collapsed. Yeah. And it was the line where she says, oh, I wish I could look up the lyrics right now. Something about the Requiem at the end, towards the end.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. But I know.
This is too
well, I gave it to you, and then you never said anything about it, and I thought.
No, I told Nick about it. I'm sorry that I didn't.
No, that's okay. You're not required to say anything about it. But I thought, oh, did he even listen to it? Because I was like, there's no way that Gio is gonna listen to Judee Sill and not respond like, oh my gosh, you know.
This is the reason I'm stopping is because this line hit me so hard. So sad and so true that even shadows come and hum the Requiem. So the line is so sad, so true that even shadows come and hum the Requiem. And I was just like, you know, and so before we even talk about Judee,
I mean, why did I?
Yeah, why did you
I
pick
had
this
to
song?
pick Judee Sill because I would match Judee. I would put Judee Sill right up there with Tom Waits when it comes to an artist that has something to offer that literally nobody else in like millenniums could offer, and does it despite anything. I mean, I don't know, Tom Waits, I don't know if it was as hard for him as it was for her. The cost of her life, I mean, she did not have an easy life.
No.
And yet she created music unlike anybody else's, and that's like Tom Waits. It's like nobody else is doing that. I mean, influences, sure, Captain Beefheart, blah blah blah, whatever. But at the end of the day, nobody else could do this. Like if Tom Waits wasn't born, we would not have those songs. If Judee Sill wasn't born, we would not have that song. And her voice, like that fucking voice, it is angelic. Yes, it is angelic and so pained.
Yeah, sorrow.
Yeah,
sorrow.
And like her, one thing I love too about Judee Sill, it's interesting because Tom Waits kind of has this in some ways too, is their folding in of religion. But Judee Sill, I feel like you could say like, oh, is Tom Waits religious? And I'd be like, I have no idea. Yeah. Right? Yes, he has. You could do Tom Waits gospel songs for sure and fill the bill more than Tom Waits war songs. But is he? I would believe he's an atheist or not, or whatever. Judee Sill is religious. Judee Sill believes in God, and for me, like, I've always been fascinated by people who believe in God. I find it. I'm not being glib at all when I say, like, I find it really fascinating, like that could be true for them.
Yeah.
And to see that belief in somebody who creates art out of it, that's rare. I feel like that's really rare, that you get an actual religious experience that is connected to
their faith and
a faith that is like
their love and their light.
And it's a Christian faith, I feel like. I mean, it's like it's so rooted in like actual like Christian history that I don't understand and don't have, but like to me there would be a euphoria that would come from a belief in God. That I feel like she carries a little bit, but then outside with that is like the genius and the beauty and the pain and the but that the donor, I feel like, is a bit of like a masterpiece of hers. The layers, it's just like, and that she's singing these non-English words, Kyrie. I mean, like,
Kyrie eleison.
Yeah, like, so I don't think I think you'd have to be like a psychopath to be like somewhere where the donor's playing, and at some point you don't go like, whoa, whoa, like, what is that, you know? So that's why I had to pick Judee Sill, which of course Nick introduced me to.
Just another suffering artist.
Okay, wait, I will say this too, if we're gonna get real and personal, is like, did you see the documentary that came out recently?
Seen a documentary,
it is so good.
So I mean, all I know is that basically I know that she was the first person to be signed to Asylum, like David Geffen's first artist, and Asylum was the label that Tom Waits was on first, right?
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like that era, right? That early 70s.
Well, I don't know if she was the first. That would actually surprise me.
She was the very first artist that he found.
I
mean, according to the internet.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. Maybe the first solo. No, because Linda Ronstadt was with. Anyway, we'll look into the history. We can update the internet, But one thing about that, this maybe comes full circle with like my experience at Yale early. She got pissed at Geffen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was like a like, she kind of felt like, fuck this shit, like the way that I'm being treated, the energy that you're giving me versus like your other people or whatever it was, that she felt compelled to say something live. I think she made like a joke about David Geffen or something. It might have been like a homophobic joke too, so but like she said something. Did not land well.
Sometimes when you're on drugs.
Yeah. It was after that he kind of like she felt because it was done, that relationship.
A third album that never was released. Yeah. Or demos at least or something.
But like honestly, and I wasn't there. Who knows, right? He claims, right, like, no, I didn't know about any of that, whatever. But like, if that's true, that she felt like, fuck you, like, you're being bullshitty to me, and that she just naturally said something, as like, I guess I'm sure the podcast knows, I just start to naturally expose things about how I feel and what I think, that would come back to bite her in the ass professionally, is like one of the things about my experience in life, particularly with the entertainment industry, and maybe even more specifically the Yale School of Drama, that like I had experiences there that I thought were so blatantly not okay that if I naturally had to say something, and saying something cost me who knows what, right? Like who knows? I'll never know. Yeah. You know, and
But
if I could go back and do it all again, I might dare myself to play the game a little better, keep my mouth shut, be a yes person, just say yes, thank you, sure. I don't know if I could ever be that person, but it does cost a lot.
You wouldn't have grown into the person you are today, and you would have been slightly different in an opposite way that you might have despised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might have hated that person.
I know. But it does cost something, and I think we
does.
see that in Judee Sill a lot. I mean, I'm not comparing myself to Judee Sill, but last thing about the comparison is that she also will speak openly about her experience feeling like a non-traditionally beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And man, do I know what that feels like. Yeah. I as an actor, I know the feeling of like, I don't look like the other girls. I'm not saying I'm ugly. I'm not saying I'm not beautiful. But I know I'm not like, I'm not the same. I don't look the same. And she really struggled with that. And I really appreciated like the openness around that, because I know personally all I have to do to get over that is just be okay with who I am and like not give a shit. But I don't always win that battle. I don't always win the battle of not caring what I look like. And I think a lot of women are trained to care about what they look like. And I just felt like I love that she acknowledged that as well, because she doesn't look like the other artists.
No.
And I find it really heartbreaking that because she was a woman that did play a part of it, she was as brilliant as Bob Dylan.
Is Tom Waits?
No doubt, definitely. Yet there's a thing that she has on her shoulder that men don't, which is like, what do I look like? Mm-hmm. Am I sexy? Am I pretty?
Yeah.
Am I beautiful?
We go back to Nina Simone.
What am I wearing? Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I just love that, like, I feel like there's probably women artists out there that have, Patti Smith. There are women artists out there. Oh, that would be my number 11. That have been able to, whatever that question, am I pretty? Am I sexy? And just be like, I don't care. Yeah. Very few women have been able to do that. Patti Smith has. And Judee Sill didn't. And she's, at least for a brief period of time. And to me, that's really inspiring to be like, okay, like, it's okay to struggle with that question as a woman of like, am I pretty enough? You know? Yeah.
So, you mentioned Patti Smith, and I see a lot of parallels between you and Patti Smith.
Yeah.
And the comparison to Judee Sill, I don't know too much about Patti Smith's history outside of the fact that I know that she was just a poet, a writer, a performer, and music was just like a thing that she kind of got into.
100%. Like,
because it was just like, hey, this is a further expression of like what I do, as opposed to somebody like Judee Sill, who probably started musically and had to do this other thing. Patti Smith was already like comfortable in the worst case scenarios because she fought her way without ever having to be put in the sort of the music pop thing. So by the time she got there, she was already like,
yes. I mean, so here's what's funny is I could tell you a lot about Patti Smith's history, and I couldn't tell you a ton about her music. And I do like her music, but if we're making a list of like top 100 favorite albums, like I don't even know if Horses would make it on there. Like I'm not a quote unquote like Patti Smith fan. But because in grad school I played her character named Cavalli in the play Cowboy Mouth that she and Sam Shepard wrote together. I did a deep fucking dive into Patti Smith. Her book Just Kids had like I think recently come out, or maybe I'm wrong about that, but I read Just Kids. This was like 2012. Okay. And that book and her writing is what made me understand that I was an artist.
Wow.
Full stop. Full stop.
You were living the artist life. Yeah.
I thought that I wanted to be an actor, and that maybe I could identify with like, oh, I'm an actor, until I read her book and I understood that I was an artist. Period. So anything else was part of that. And like, fuck it. The other thing, so in Cowboy Mouth, her character like believes in a utopia, and in the play itself, like, so she and Sam Shepard wrote that
Sam
together.
Shepard wrote it together.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of the character was her, but I believe it's got to be in the 90 or above percentile of like, what is that character? How much is that Patti Smith? It's like up there.
Yeah.
And her character believes in a world in which art could be so good that it changes people.
Yeah.
That it allows people to behave in a way that makes the world better. And that really resonated with me, and I really fucking loved that. And so I then, like, I loved playing Patti Smith so much that when I found out that Showtime, I believe, had bought the rights to her book, Just Kids, I was like, I have to get an audition. I think
it could still happen.
Well, I know I'm too old now.
No, you're not.
Okay.
That's what it,
they're like 18.
They have effects for that.
Yeah. So, but this is another kind of how Nick and I came together, was because I'd seen him. I met him through the Comedy Jam. I saw him at the Comedy Jam, and then I came and saw them. He and Joel play their Element OP gigs. Yeah. And when I was like, I want to audition for Just Kids, there were no audition notices at all. I was just like, I want to audition for this. Mm-hmm. So I want to create an audition tape called Michelle for Patti, hashtag Michelle for Patti. And I needed to sing. So I asked Nick if Nick and Joel would do some songs with me, and we did Because the Night and Gloria, and recorded it. And it was like the first time I'd ever sung with a band, ever. You know, and like,
so she brought you to that,
and actually it did make it to Patti Smith.
It did?
Yes, it did. But she was like, they're never gonna actually make it, but like, yeah, it did actually get to her, which was like,
that's amazing.
Really cool. That's
amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. If I could go back and do it all again, though, I never tried to get her accent. She's from Jersey.
Yeah.
You have to have that, and I'm so bad with accents, so I could work on it. But I just like, it's so funny because I'm not a fan in the sense of like her music, even though I like her. I appreciate the music. I like a lot of it, but like, I'm not like, I don't know. It's really a weird thing to describe. It's like if Patti Smith walked in the door, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, you're Patti Smith. I'd be like, oh my God, let's talk about this. Yeah. I'm going to play you. Like,
you love her writing, though.
I love her. I love the book, Just Kids.
So you love the way that she expresses herself, and she made you understand a part of you that you weren't aware of, which is basically that all your life you've been living an artist's life.
She gave me the permission to call myself an artist, and she gave me the words for that.
Yeah. For
sure. And I think I could play her really well.
I think you still can.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if they do a biopic of like 30 plus, yes, I could. But we need to see the like 18 to 30 years, because that's where the like, Robert Mapplethorpe magic happens.
Yeah.
But
it can still happen. We're going to make it happen.
I'm not using AI, Gio. I don't play that game.
Just sign the contract. You'll be fine.
But that's my life story in the song.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Thank you so much for giving us this list of songs, this amazing list of songs. There's definitely a through line of sort of the outsider, the person that's kind of like unappreciated, the person who's just different, not taking advantage, like just like basically trying to find themselves. And I think that there's like, that's I appreciate you sharing your personal stories as well, like the connections to the songs, and just to know that also that you are an amazing artist, that I can call you a friend, that I can actually witness your rise. You're amazing.
Well, you taught me how to sing. I don't know. That needs to be said. You're the reason I sing.
Thank you so much. Michelle McGregor, y'all. My Greatest Hits. See you next time. Hear you next time.
Yeah.
Yay.